Hi, I'm William Byrne. 31 years ago, I wrote, illustrated, and self-published a 24-page black and white comic book called Max Burger P.I. Max Burger P.I. is about a mutant hamburger private investigator, born from a microwave explosion 17 years ago, who solves crimes and battles his brother the Mad Burger, part cyborg, part hamburger, and who lives in the sewers and plots to take over the world and reshape it to his dark vision. Now I'm planning to re-release Max Burger P.I. number 1 in a longer 48-page story with all new art. I hope you will back my Indiegogo campaign. Thank you. Morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? I thought I'd do a different live cast this morning instead of the afternoon. I'll probably do one in the afternoon too. We'll see what's going on. Oh, I see Anthony has liked the video. Hey, yeah. So I've been awake for a while. I could have came up at 2 o'clock, like Ethan Van Sciver does, or John Talks. But I didn't think any of my friends were awake then. So I just didn't do that. Yeah, so I'm got some stuff going with the Indiegogo. I'm still trying to figure out how to see how many people have actually subscribed to the newsletter or the mailing list. I'm not sure how to do that. If anybody knows how to do that, just put a comment in, because I can't figure that out. I don't see anybody coming in and adding their name to the list. I'd like to know that. It's going to be. I'm not sure what the exact date I'm going to release the campaign. I might actually release it on my birthday. We'll see how that goes. That's a month from September 1st. So, yeah, if anybody knows how to track the... Oh, morning, Matt. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I see there's some early people up, or people that get up early. Yeah, so yeah, I try to do this. I didn't do one yesterday. I ended up there was a book I got. I got a whole bunch of books. I'm way behind on books. So the afternoon I just I think I spent 2 hours reading this book. I'm not quite done with it yet. I think I got another maybe 50 pages to go. And then I've got a whole bunch of other books I got to get. I got a whole bunch of graphic novels, obvious books I got to read. I got a Spider-Man Volume 2. It's got some really cool John Romita Jr. stuff. Not Junior, Senior. And Gil Kane stuff. And it's stuff I would have read when I was really young, and some of it I would have missed. I ended up moving. My parents moved to Newfoundland, and there was no comic book stores around. And I think I got to a couple of stores, drugstores, that were out of town. But it wasn't something that I could go down every week and pick up comic books. And so I'm way behind on that. I have a Superman Omnibus from the 1930s. I'm dying to dig into that. So much things to do and not enough time. I used to find I had a lot more time to do stuff in the past. So I spent at least two. Was it? No, maybe it was longer than that. Maybe about 3 hours reading. So I didn't get through the book. Like I said, I got about 50 pages left to get through the book, and then I move on. I think I'm going to move on to some graphic novels or some that's a little bit more lighter. I watched a little bit of Frasier last night. I bought a DVD collection from Dollarama, which is a dollar store here in Canada, if you're not from Canada. And they were, I think, $3 or $4 or some. It was the best of. So I've got MacGyver, the best of MacGyver, the original MacGyver, and Frasier. So I haven't watched Frasier in a long time. So I watched a bit of that too last night before I went to bed. And then I still wake up. I think, what did I go to bed? About 7, 8 last night. And I woke up at 2 without an alarm clock. So yeah, some of what I was doing yesterday. That's why I wasn't podcasting. But I usually come in around, I was doing a 2 o'clock one. And then it moved up to about 3 or 4. But last night I just felt like reading. Just noticing some stuff here about Aquaman. James Wan says that Aquaman 2 will be more relevant to the world we're living in today. Director James Wan promised more serious tone and a greater reverence to modern times in the forthcoming sequel to 2018 Aquaman. Now, I was watching Ethan Van Sciver talking about this, and he was mentioning, what is it? They're going to have buildings on fire in Atlantis. Wan and Ocean Master actor Patrick Wilson took part in Aquaman 2 panel in DC fandom over the weekend, and they discussed this direction of the film will go. I think the second one is a little bit more serious, a little bit more relevant in the world that we're living in today, Wan says. I think that's where it wants to go. Wilson replied he would like to see more world building in the unexplored ocean. I know Wan loves world building, and I like to see some of that. He said, I know you're going to push that ocean. There's a lot of unexplored ocean. Wan responded, he can definitely guarantee you new worlds in this next one, and I think you're going to be very excited as an actor. Orm will return, and Wilson asked if he will wear handcuffs most of the time since he is probably in a dungeon. He then joked the restraints could be seaweeds he could easily rip off. The actor does believe we'll see Orm locked up. I don't think Orm ends up in Belly Reeve like he does in the New 52s. He said in 2019, I assume that they're going to keep him in some kind of jail below the surface. Wilson also shared last year there was ideas for Orm in Aquaman 2, but didn't reveal them. I can tell you that Wan's concept for Aquaman 2 are pushing it further. He said to Hollywood Reporter, Hollywood Reporter, he added, I have a few ideas where the Orm fits in, but I'm not talking about them. We know he won't be the main villain. The duty belongs to the Black Manta. According to screenwriter David Leslie Johnson, Godric Manta's Big Bad, and the script will heavily borrow from the Silver Age, though no specific comic story is being adopted. The sequel will also be darker, says James Wan in a recent Instagram question and answer. It will display more horror elements like the trench, which is the filmmaker's blood. Just like the first movie had a touch of horror sensibility in it. Regards to the trench sequence, I would say that there would be a little bit of that in this next one, he said. Aquaman 2 is still set to make its splash in theaters in December 2022. So is that a movie that you're looking forward to see? Is Aquaman 2? Hopefully they don't have Heard in it. They can easily replace male actors, but they don't usually do that with female actors. So what do you think, Matt? Are you still here listening? What do you think? You're going to go and see Aquaman? Are you a fan of the first movie? Yeah, I did kind of like the first movie. It was well done. So it looks like there's a new comic starring the 10th and 13th Doctor, but that's not the same. It's rather see the real actors in a TV show. I actually like 11, so 11 is my favorite Doctor, and the 4th Doctor is my first Doctor. So, hey, Dale, morning. Yeah. It should be really good. Oh, did you like the Batman? Yeah. I thought it wasn't too bad. It was interesting seeing the actor that was in that was playing Gordon. He's a very good actor, but there's a race swap with him. Well, maybe they're developing her her costume. Maybe it will eventually get better throughout the movie. Maybe. Yeah, he's not all shiny. Yeah. Well, that black makeup on his eyes, I thought interesting touch, but they've had that in all the movies. I think didn't they do? Because somebody was listening to a podcast and they were saying that somebody was saying that Michael Keaton, when he tore off his mask in Batman Returns, he had a little bit of that black makeup under the eyes. Yeah, I don't know how much of that movie have they got done. Because isn't it based on one of the Batman books, Halloween or something like that? I haven't read the Jeff Loeb's Batman series. Oh yes, Suicide Squad too. Isn't James Gunn directing that one? The guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm looking forward to that one. Oh, they got 25% of the Batman film done. I think they're filming it now, ain't they? They got to do the social distancing stuff. Yeah, so well, one more year. It's going to take a while to get for some new shows and stuff to come back on with the pandemic, Yeah, I love James. I love James Gunn's directing. I really like the Guardians. I didn't like the way they portrayed Star-Lord in the Avengers movie. It just they made him seem like too much of an idiot. Well, he is kind of but he's kind of a goof. I think they made him more of a goof than he really is, But I really enjoyed John. What were you surprised with John? I'm not sure. I'm not following. Polka Dot Man. You've never seen Polka Dot Man. um, Polka Dot Man. Is he somebody in the Suicide Squad? Kind of like Spot. Yeah, they should have made Star-Lord a little bit more heroic in it. Yeah. He was fun. He was fun in yeah. I think I got more excited when I watched Guardians that Star-Lord had a Walkman, and I'm going like, I got 3 Walkmans in storage. Let's bring them out. Okay, part of the Suicide Squad. Nice. And yeah, looking forward for both of those movies. Suicide Squad and Aquaman. I'd like to go and see another Shazam movie. Be nice if they could use the Captain Marvel name at least in the movie. Not on the title. But I guess they've lost the trademark to it, so they can't use that name. Yeah. I was just looking at here and bounding in the comics here. It says Bane creator Chuck Dixon explains why current writers can't tell us good Superman stories. And he was going on and saying that writers today don't know how to deal with Superman, how powerful he is and stuff like that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I didn't like Endgame. I didn't like Endgame as much as Infinity War. Infinity War, I found more interesting. It was more fun. It's the second half of the movie for Endgame. Just seemed to be too rushed. Well, the current comic book was goofy. I like the old TV series. I don't know if you're old enough to watch the old Shazam TV show back in the 70s. Well, they should make Black Adam good at the beginning. Boy, they were doing that for the Scorpion King. The Scorpion King, to me, felt like it was a Black Adam kind of origin. Yeah, the death of Iron Man was sad to see him go. But I guess they had to kill somebody off in it, and they had a budget, so they couldn't keep these high actors. Downey was the most expensive, but I think they still got him coming back, don't they? Was animated? It's CGI. You're talking about the Mummy series that he was animated, but they did a live action with The Rock before he became the Scorpion King, and so he wasn't like a. It was an okay movie. But it was supposed to be that movie, that solo movie from the Mummies, was supposed to be showing how the Scorpion King became the Scorpion King. And he started off as a good guy and then slowly became a bad guy. A Scorpion King, yeah, Green Lantern too much, yeah. Yeah. I did. The Green Lantern wasn't too well. It had issues, but there was some stuff in that movie I liked. Haven't seen it for a while, so I should see if I could see if I got a copy of it on DVD. The only thing is, I found it was just it dragged too much. Yeah, Hercules I haven't really watched. You know, the one thing about Shazam I did not like was the costume. I kind of wish they went with the classic 1940s costume, with a little latch on his costume, and that lightning bolt that glows. I didn't like that, I thought that the guy who played Captain Marvel, I thought he was pretty good at him as Captain Marvel. Yeah, DC does need to step up their movie game while Marvel is in hiatus for a while. Yeah. Yeah, Shazam. Oops, the Shazam in the animated series looked awesome. Yeah, they did that. Didn't they do a Superman versus Shazam in one of the animated series? But the animated stuff for DC has always been really good, I think the last DC animated movie I saw was Dark or something. It was called, and I actually thought that was interesting. And they had Constantine in, and they had the voice of Constantine from the TV series Legends, and Constantine, his own show that got canceled after a year. Yeah, DC's animation is second to none. They're just amazing what they do, and the movie parts are not really that great. Wonder Woman, I thought Wonder Woman was pretty good, but the stuff I'm hearing about Wonder Woman 2 is kind of making me feel a little cringe about going and seeing it. They're talking about the enemy in this movie is capitalism, and I'm like, there was no that wasn't the enemy in the first movie. Do you think people would go and see that movie with Young Justice? I'm not sure. I'd like to see him, do a better version of Teen Titans. I'm not fussy about that TV show. Yeah, Cheetah's another enemy. So is Maxwell Lord. Apparently, Maxwell Lord is supposed to be modeled after Donald Trump. So they're trying to make his clothes and everything look like the Trump's outfits back in the 80s. So I don't know. I liked Maxwell Lord in Justice League Unlimited in the comic books. Was it Unlimited or International or whatever? They had a few of those. Yeah. That Teen Titans TV series, I tried to watch it. They have some great actors. Gar is not green. Only his hair is green. Starfire doesn't look like Starfire. Yeah. We don't need political. We don't need movies to be political. They don't need to come out and say that. Like I watched the first trailer of Wonder Woman, and I thought it was just like, oh, wow, I want to see this. This looks cool. The music sound really nice. If it comes out and it's going to be like that, I may not go and see it myself. I try not to watch too many trailers. I watched, there was a trailer years ago for Rush Hour 3. They give away all the jokes. I went and watched the movie and I go, I remember seeing this in the trailer. I remember seeing that one in the trailer. There's nothing new here. Well, you can't watch, you can watch Flash, but Arrow, you'll have to watch it in reruns unless you're going to be watching Arrow's daughter. Because Arrow is dead now. But the Flash is, I don't know. It has its, well, I guess it's like Arrow. Arrow in the first season was really good. Sometimes the trailer does look better than the movie, and then you go and sit at it and you watch it. I remember going and seeing a movie called Cyborg with Claude Van Damme in it. And it was a movie theater. It was called Cineplex. I think it was Cineplex. We still have a Cineplex here. And but this one had 6, I think it was like 6 movie theaters, and there were small movie theaters kind of thing. And I went there to watch this movie Cyborg. I think I've probably seen it in trailers on TV or something. So I went to go and see it. There was only 3 people, me, a friend, and somebody else, and this person was asleep. And the movie sucked. Arrow is done. Stephen Amell is no longer with the Arrowverse. They did the Crisis. He ended up kind of disappearing. He became somebody else. I'm not going to say too much. I don't want to spoil it for you. But they canceled the show. Well, the contracts were up and everything for Amell and the rest of them. So, I think they got a female Arrow thing going on. I'm not sure if it takes place in the future or something like that. So it's his daughter or something like that. Yeah. Sorry for spoilers. Yeah, I don't mean to give away things. But it's done. And Legends of Tomorrow is Legends. Yeah, Legends is done for. I didn't actually thought it was canceled. It was his last season. So I watched that. I was quite happy that they added Constantine to the show because Constantine was the best thing in the show. Yeah. Maybe what they might need to do is do a Green Arrow live action movie. Maybe they can pay Steven to come back to be the Green Arrow and do a movie version of it, you know. But I found that first season of Arrow was really well done. I really, really liked it. Then it started getting goofy. Flash had that in a couple of its seasons too. Yeah, Constantine is underrated. I wish they did. CW would do something with Constantine and that actor. The actor that they got for Constantine is brilliant. He just looks like him. Well, Dr. Faith, I think, is coming to Stargirl. I think they hinted at some stuff. Have you watched that series? Because I don't want to talk about it if you haven't seen it. You know, there's a potential spoil for everything nowadays. You know, if you talk about it, if somebody grew up 10 years ago and you're talking about a movie they haven't seen, that's potential spoiler there too. You know. Wasn't the Dr. Faith also in Smallville? You know, not sure. Yeah, I think he was in Smallville. And what did you see? You didn't watch the Crisis, did you? Crisis on Infinite Earths that they did for the CW. Because Constantine, I don't really want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it. Constantine meets somebody from, well, he was on the Fox network. He's another DC character created by Neil Gaiman. Yeah, oh, no problem. You have a bit slag in the stream. You start watching it. Have you watched Lucifer? Lucifer is another one I did. He attaches himself to the DC universe. So there is a scene that's in Crisis that Lucifer's in. It's been broadcast over. So he appears in Crisis with Constantine. Oh, you've seen it, okay. Yeah, I watched it. I just finished the last episode. I thought there was another episode because it seems they like to leave it in cliffhangers anyway. I kind of like cliffhangers anyway. When I write my stories, I like putting cliffhangers in so you could come and get the next book, you know. Yeah, next they had Daredevil. Daredevil was a good show on Netflix, but I heard there were some copyright issues with Marvel. Marvel didn't want them to have Daredevil and Luke Cage and stuff like that. The only show I didn't like was Jessica Jones. I did not like that show. Yeah, Iron Man, Punisher. Yep, all them gone. They were all good. Punisher was. I haven't watched second season of Punisher. I got to go and sit down and watch that. I watched Iron Fist. Iron Fist was okay. I liked Luke Cage. I really did like Luke Cage. You know, every once in a while I use the Sweet Christmas, tagline, Yeah, I didn't like the actress for some reason. Her co-star, that one that played, I'm trying to think of the name she was going to become. She ended up with powers or some in the final season or some. Patty some. I thought she was kind of cute. I liked looking at that show, looking at her. But yeah, I didn't like Jessica Jones. I just I just didn't like her acting. And Mortal Kombat remake. I don't think I've seen that one. Yeah, Mortal Kombat. And I'm not much into the. Yeah, I think I might have played that. I don't have that on any my systems. I have. I'm a Nintendo guy, so I like a lot of Nintendo games. So I have the original NES. I have the Super, and I have the 64. Now I did stop at 64. I didn't buy the Cube, but I think Mortal Kombat was made for the NES anyway, or the Super NES. Yeah, I am working on some right now. I've got a Indiegogo campaign going. It hasn't started yet, but I got a mailing list started. Not ready to put it out. It's on a character I did called Max Burger PI. Everything's done in that. I just have to do a logo for it. You've probably seen the thing up on Facebook. I'm probably going to look for somebody local. The Canadian dollar is really low, and for me, paying for anything in the States is quite high because I've been buying a lot of Indiegogo books from a lot of like Ethan Van Sciver, Dan Frega, and a few other people. And I've been finding that with the dollar being low, a $25 comic book will cost me $33 Canadian, and then the shipping is $20. And I'm also working on a comic book called The North Shield. Characters right behind me. Just let me move the microphone. Let me find the right way to move it. That's the character right behind me, over there. He's being worked on. I have a guy in Kitchener who's drawn it for me. We've got about 7 or 8 pages done. I've got another story I'm working on. I don't have too much time to write lately. I've been doing the podcast. I've got some pages to work on. I've got to set up my drawing table to put a new page up. The Max Burger book is drawn 43 pages, but I have figured a way to do. Oh, did I freeze? Oh, I didn't realize I froze. So he's a hamburger. Yeah, he's in a world of humans. There is only 2. He's born from a microwave explosion 17 years ago, along with his brother, the Mad Burger. So there's only 2 food characters in this universe. Everybody else is human. So he is founded by a police officer who just lost his wife and child and ends up raising Max to be his son. And the Mad Burger is half hamburger, half cyborg, and he likes to eat people. So yeah, so it's kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a way. What do you mean he doesn't go bad? Like rot? The Mad Burger does. He's the Mad Burger can only come out at night. He lives in the sewers. Max, he's living, so it's just yeah, because Max is usually a fairly good guy. Yeah, he doesn't go rotten. They don't go rotten. No, it's just because his he's alive, so he's got blood running through him and stuff like that. So I remember going to a convention once. I think it was in Chicago, and somebody was doing it was before the internet, and they had a TV channel about talking about comics, and they asked me how he went to the washroom, and I go like, I'm trying to make this book for any age. So there's not going to be an over, there'll be some violence in it because the Mad Burger is crazy, but I won't show a lot of gore and stuff like that, Max or the Mad Burger, because Max is fairly strong. He's got lettuce for arms, pickle for feet. I could say I say he'd be maybe average or a little bit average. Max doesn't have any really special powers. His mind, he's a detective, so he knows how to solve crimes and stuff like that. Max is he's just he thinks he's human. He doesn't think that he's a hamburger. He does joke about himself. Now the Mad Burger, on the other hand, has special abilities and stuff like that. There's points where I've drawn him where people have actually thought he looked like Venom, because the Mad Burger has a lot of teeth. Well, I haven't gotten to that point yet. If Max would kill, he may kill to the point if he's battling the Mad Burger, because the Mad Burger is out to destroy the world and pollute the world and stuff like that. So I think Max would probably step the line to stop his brother at any cost. Yeah, the Mad Burger is the main guy. Yeah, main bad guy. I haven't come up with any other villains yet. There isn't a religious cult that knows about Max. Max has been trying to stay in the shadows, not quite in the shadows, but he doesn't let people know that he's a mutant hamburger, private investigator. But there is a religious group that does not like Max. Where I got the idea for this comic? I got the idea for I was going to do a comic strip called Help, which stood for Hilarious, Easy, Lazy People, and they didn't have a villain. I was living in a province called Newfoundland at the time, and they needed a villain, so I came up with this hamburger that was born from a microwave explosion. Somebody spilled pop on it, and all of a sudden, this hamburger popped out and started attacking people at fast food restaurants. And I liked the character so much, I wanted to make him into a good guy. And at the time, I was watching a lot of PI TV shows like Magnum PI, Murder She Wrote, Simon and Simon. So I thought, oh, I can make him into a good guy. And he was going to get somehow an accident, and he washed up onto the shore of Nova Scotia, where he forgot who he was. He couldn't remember he was a bad guy. And then I said, well, if he's going to be a good guy, I might as well give him legs. So I drew legs on him. I said, well, he's going to have arms. He's not going to have realistic arms. I'd make it lettuce, because lettuce is in part of the hamburger being put together. So that's how Max came about. And then I started thinking he needed a villain. So that's why I brought the Mad Burger back. I don't think McDonald's will sue me. I don't think McDonald's. I don't think they warm up I don't think they cook their hamburgers in microwaves. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think they'll sue me. They don't look anything like any of the McDonald's characters or anything. I think they got rid of most of their maybe the hamburglar might come over and steal or try to eat Max or something like that. I do have in the second issue a guy that wants to eat Max. It's more of a dream issue kind of thing. It's a psychological mind trip. This story is. You may look like it and think, well, Steve Ditko drew this, or I'm a big fan of Steve Ditko's anyway, and so there was a lot of influence from Steve Ditko's. I'm going to try to do. It's probably going to be a short series. I was looking at it a long time ago as a longer series, but I have 4 issues written already, so it might be more. I have a 3-part miniseries I wrote a long time ago called The Mad 2992, where the Mad Burger's plans come to the way he planned it, and the world ended up splitting in 2 halves, and one half is very polluted, and a lot of aliens and mutants and stuff like this on this planet, and it's very violent. Well, the ideal for what's next after this comic would probably be the Mad 2992, the 3-part series. I've written 3 chapters to this. All 3 artwork, all 3 issues are done a long time ago. I got busy trying to find work and fighting family. Family is one of the biggest drainers for doing creativity, because they don't see you. They don't have confidence in you that you can make it as a comic book writer or artist. They don't see your vision. But I have a lot of ideas for comic books and stories and stuff like that. There's stuff. If you go to, I have a group called Takeout Comics on Facebook, there is some artwork on there of the comic book, and there is some of my on the mailing list for the Indiegogo campaign. There are actually some pictures of the Mad Burger in shadow, so you don't see him too much. All you get to see is his red eyes. Yeah, you have to. You have to get rid of negative people. Family. Sometimes you gotta move away from family too. Family is the biggest. Yeah, I'm not married. So I don't have any kids either. So, but I'm getting to a point in my life. I am. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So, I'm going to be hitting a milestone in a couple more years. So, my eyes are starting to fail on me a bit. So I have to wear glasses. Got them right here in the case. I don't need them for distances. Anything than like maybe 2 feet or a foot, I don't need it. But if I'm reading something in a lower light, this room is a very low light room. So I'll need the glasses when I'm drawing. Now you've got 2 lamps over there, and it still doesn't help me because I'm too close to the drawing table. Well, thank you. I'm glad that we're. I don't think we're strangers now. We're friends. I think I just added you recently to Facebook anyway, just a little while ago. But yeah, I'm welcome that you're coming here and chatting with me. I usually have another guy in the evenings, Sean. I can't remember Sean's last name. If you're listening, Sean, I'm sorry. But I usually have 1 or 2 people that come in and sometimes chat. This is great that you've come in, because most people just come in for a moment and I think they disappear. I am trying to grow the channel. I do have a channel on YouTube. This is streaming at the same time to YouTube and Facebook. So if you want to search Take Out Comics on YouTube and subscribe and click the like button there, that would be awesome for me. So I'm trying to grow that channel. You might want to check back at some of the interviews I've had. I've had some interviews with Dan Frega. I've had interviews with Scott Weldon, who does a book called here's the book here. He's actually wrote me a note because I did an interview with him, and he's a brilliant writer. I love his stuff. He's a really nice guy. We chatted. It's always, it's great, that you ask questions. That's the only way that you can learn, is asking questions. When I was doing comic books, I grabbed a lot of books. Back in the past, there was a lot of drawing books I got for drawing back then. I think this is a second volume. But back then when I was drawing, there was no YouTube. You just had magazines, and you get this and you read it from this. The creators in here. There's even a piece by John Byrne. He wrote a whole thing about drawing, like storytelling in comics, doing panels and stuff like that. So, I had a different way Well, thanks. I'm going to be starting to show some more drawings and stuff on here. Yeah, it's all awesome there. And I do have somebody from YouTube. Wow, this is great. One from Facebook and one from YouTube. And so it's Gravy Guzman. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. And Dell, if you ever want to check out any of my books, you want to buy an original Max Burger #1 that was printed 31 years ago, there's a little link at the bottom of the page here that goes to, oops, actually, I got the wrong banner been going running here. Oh my God. I've been advertising somebody else's stuff. Wow, I didn't realize this. Turn that off. There we go. Here's the right one. There, Max Burger wraparound cover. So all my books, Dell. Yeah, you can get them signed too. I don't have any number 2s. About 1990, there was a Persian Gulf War. And I was reading a newspaper called the Comics Buyer Guide. Yeah, I know. I thought it was all set up this morning when I went to go, and I didn't look at it. I'm going to have to start deleting some of these tickers that I have in there because some of these people I interviewed. But you can always check out Pathways, too. Pathway is a superhero. It was a guy I interviewed. They did a comic book about a guy who had cystic fibrosis, and he was a doctor or something. He ended up with superpowers, and really interesting chat I had with him. You know, well, you were born a year before I published Max Burger. Max Burger, I published Max Burger in 1989. So you would be a year older than Max. Max is always going to be 17 years old. But anyway, the original, what I was mentioning about, in 1990, I sent out 400 copies to a war that was happening in 1990 called the Persian Gulf War. And I signed 400 copies of the book. I sent 200 to two ships that were fighting for the Canadian Army, and they were fighting for Canada, and so I signed all 400 copies, sent 200 to one ship, 200 to another, got me an interview in the newspaper, got me an interview with a local TV station. Yeah, when I write my books, I do feel relaxed, and I lose track of time when I'm doing this stuff, you know. And yeah, it's fun doing. Nah, he's a mature mutant hamburger, Gravy Guzman. He's mature for 17, you know? Yeah. Well, he's a mutant hamburgers mature fairly well. Well, somebody asked me that. I don't know if I'm going to create a love interest for him. He might be just a lonely man, you know? He just wants to go out and solve crimes and help people. That's what his whole main thing is, you know? I know Magnum had a few love interests. Now I'm talking about the old Magnum from the 80s. Not the Magnum of today. And that's Thomas Magnum. And now we'll see. Maybe once I get through the 4 issues of Max Burger I got planned right now, there might be more. So. Oh, he'll have human emotions. He'll have human emotions still. Putting those in. Second issue, that book is going to be reprinted because that's definitely coming out in the Indiegogo book 2, which I mentioned earlier. It's a dream issue. So we find a little bit more about Max Burger than the first issue. It's not the first issue. Is not really an origin. It's we introduce Max. We introduce the crime which he has to solve, and some of his, well, 2 of his enemies: the church and the Mad Burger. And so we'll see him get angry in the first issue at people. He's got a bit of an attitude. He's a bit grumpy, but he's a good guy, Yeah, there is a slight origin in the story. He kind of summarizes it a bit in the comic book, so you get to see him talking about school and stuff like that. I'll go more into depth in a larger origin story. The origin story doesn't happen until issue 3 and 4. So they're going to be pretty big issues too. They're like 40 pages. They do put him into a special school. They do, but the government does. So he does have a friend that he develops in the school. The guy's name is Paul, and they both know each other from school and stuff like that. So the origin story also is going to be told by 2 viewpoints. Yeah, he's a lone detective. He's a very lone detective. He might have Paul, his friend. His dad. Now here's a story with his dad. There was a comic book store here in just over from a town I live in called Kitchener, and the guy who owned the comic book store, I based him as Max's dad. Now Harry is dead for a long time, but his lookalike Charles is still alive. Well, the government, I haven't gone too much into that, but the government is kind of like I'm Canadian, so we're kind of nice people up here. So they probably could be using them for their personal gain. But when I wrote it was just they were curious about this hamburger that mutated and stuff like that. So they wanted to see how he would react to humans and stuff like that. But his dad, his adopted dad, took him out of this of the government. Now his dad still kind of works for the government. He's still a police officer, and that's where kind of Max kind of wanted to be a private eye. And Max does drive around in a 19. Just give me a moment to get it for you. I have shown it. This is the kind of car that Max drives in. It's a 1930. Yeah, it's a 31 Peerless. I should know it. I've owned this thing for almost 30 years. Yeah, we are. We are. Some of us are nicer. Um, but yeah, this is the car he drives. 1931 Peerless. So I use this as a reference for drawing. So if I need to have Max, I'm gonna put it down somewhere so I don't. It's made of. It's a die-cast car. Put it over here. Yeah. Well, I probably would probably add that into the story since you mentioned that. Thank you. So there'll probably be eyes on him anyway. But he has a religious group that doesn't like him. So, and a minister that thinks that he's evil, and but he's not the one that they should be worried about. They should be worried about the Mad Burger, because the Mad Burger is coming to. Yeah, it's like a mobster vehicle. But the reason for this car is there's some questions about Max, why he drives a car like this. So I'm in a little bit into spiritualism, and stuff like that. So there's some kind of a reincarnation kind of thing, we can say. Yeah. So we're going to see some stuff back in the 30s. Going to be hinting at that. It's no time travel. It's just some memories resurfacing. So that's kind of the story of Max there. Well, I originally didn't want Max to be using guns. Doesn't like them. There was another character I used to watch didn't like guns. That was a detective or some. Yeah, the 30s was a fun era. Clothes and everything like that, and cars. Yeah. So I've got some interesting stories. I'm going to be going to do some stories in Chicago. He's going to go from Canada and go across the border to Chicago. So there'll be some stories in Chicago. I went to Chicago 20, 30 years ago. Loved Chicago. So he's gonna be a little like Dick Tracy. Yeah, just not with the crazy yellow jacket that Tracy wears. Not gonna have the television or the phone on his wrist, but he'll be a little like Dick Tracy. Gonna start coming up. Well, we're gonna start coming up with some more villains for him. He's got a mystery to do in the first issue, which doesn't get resolved right away. So we'll have to wait and see how he solves the murder mystery. Yeah, I think I've been to Chicago about 3 or 4 times. This is before 9/11. So it was easier before 9/11 to travel from Canada to the U.S. You didn't have to have a passport. All you had to do is, if you were driving, me and my dad would drive. We drove once to, we drove to Chicago once. We went through Detroit. Detroit was kind of scary going through there. So the pinstripe jackets from the 30s. Yeah, I don't know if I would feel comfortable wearing a suit from the 30s. I like the jeans and t-shirts, you know. That's my type of clothes. Buy a lot of superhero shirts. You wouldn't be able to buy that down there. They'd laugh at you. But I kind of like the style. I do like the style. And that's going to be in the book. So I'm piling up references. So once I get to that, I can draw that. I'm not going to have the book out on a monthly schedule. There's no way I don't have the speed for that. Yeah, I like the movie Grease. I got a friend here on Facebook. She is a big fan of Grease. Well, her dad, I think before he passed away, took her to see the movie Grease, and so she's a big fan. They had it at the theater. I don't think it was last year. I think it was a year before because I had a different car at the time, and I went down in a kind of it wasn't quite a snowstorm, but the car was having a hard time driving through the snow that wasn't plowed. And she'd have a seat reserved that was supposed to be for her dad, and then she had the records and something else, pictures or some on the chair. So yeah, well, Grease. I think Grease was more set in the 60s. 50s or 60s. I think it was more 50s. And so I think the suits were a bit different back then too. You know, back in the 50s you wore t-shirts and jeans and stuff like that, you know. But they're going to be pinstripes and stuff like that, and so mobsters and stuff like that. So I've got ideas for people that I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that. I just hope that they're okay with me using their image, because there's going to be a lot of YouTubers that I watch that are going to be mobsters in this storyline. All right. Well, nice talking to you, Dell. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that the great talk, and yeah, join. Sign up for my my mailing list for the Indiegogo. You'll either find it on my personal page, or you can just search for it on Indiegogo for Max Burger. Okay. All right. Ciao. Take care, my friend. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate that you came in. Oh, that's been really good. Fun chat. So I'm gonna stay on for a little bit longer. I think I've been on for an hour. I've really lost track of time here. I haven't done an hour chat for a long time. Usually half an hour, 15 minutes sometimes, you know. But I'm glad you guys are here watching, you know. I have fun doing this. I have fun chatting. I just hope I didn't give too much away about Max Burger, that you won't buy a book, you know. You have to go and buy it for the artwork, you know. Take out comics, you know, on Facebook. Look for that. The YouTube channel. You'll be able to find my artwork, you know. Even search for my name or Max Burger on YouTube, and you'll be able to find a video on there. So yeah, let's see what else is going on here. I might do more of a morning one more often. Try to do my showering and stuff real quick as soon as I get up at 2, and maybe I'll stream some early in the morning, and then just set it up so I can just do some drawing and stuff like that afterwards. So there's a American crime creator, John Riley, to write a right person of color Batman for DC Comics. previously reported as a rumor, we can confirm a person of color will inherit the cape and cowl in 2021. It was announced at DC Fandom screenwriter John Ridley, 12 years a slave, is writing a limited series about a new Batman. Ridley also wrote the screenplay for Red Tails, Ben-Hur. He created the TV series American Crime as well. More recently, he was in the news for penning an opt in the Los Angeles Times calling for HBO Max and Warner Media, DC Comics' parent company, to remove Gone with a Wind from their platform. The headline for Ridley's opt-out. Oops, I'm getting music here. And he would argue that I'm sorry, I jumped because the video took me off. It says the headline for Ridley's opt read, "Hey HBO, Gone with the Wind romances the horrors of slavery. Take it off your platform for now." He would argue in the article that it is a film that glorifies antebellum South. It is a film that, when it is not ignoring the horrors of slavery, pauses only to participate some of the most painful stereotypes of people of color. DC Comics' Jim Lee and Riley reveal that during the Legacy of the Bat panel 4-issue arc drawn by Nick Darrington, Doom Patrol, centering around family of Lucius Fox. Ridley has hovered this project for a year. I think it's a pretty decent, pretty safe bet that I'm writing Batman. It's probably a little better than a 40% chance that he's going to be a person of color, he said. He then into about talking about Fox and his son Luke. This is a family that has secrets and has kept secrets from one another, he continues. It's a little bit different dynamic than the Batman we've seen. It is a pretty heavy indication that the next Batman will be Luke Fox, who is primed for a stint in the Batsuit once he donned the back wing armor. Lucius, as CEO of Wayne Enterprises, has been one of Bruce's closest confidants. Eventually learning his true identity and aiding him in his mission. This is an important subplot in the Dark Knight film trilogy. The rumor last year suggested we would see a Black Cape Crusader in 2020. Likely candidates were Luke Fox, the first Batwing, David Zimi, sorry, can't pronounce that name, Duke, the Signal Thomas, and Black Lightning, Batman's partner in The Outsiders. We're so excited to share this first image of the upcoming miniseries with fans, says press release from DC, for Riley's miniseries, stated to go on sale in January. They issued key art by lettering that's in the first issue. John Riley is also authored a DC Black Label book spotlighting the heroes of color in the DCU and other side of the DC universe that goes on sale in November. Before then, DC is holding a second fandom on September 12th entitled "Explore the Multiverse." You'll be tuning in or picking up a copy of John Riley's Batman's miniseries. Are you going to pick up a copy of Batman's miniseries? You know, might not. You know. So, people, I got to stand up a bit. Getting a little bit of cramp in my shoulders here. So I might be ending the podcast in a moment here. Let me move the camera over here so people can see my handsome face a little bit better. Still going to try to find the best angle for this camera because I got a 20-inch monitor here. Yeah, so yeah, it's been fun chatting with everybody. You know, been here going to try to do a long one day. Some like a 2 or 3 hour podcast, let me know what you want. I'm glad I have somebody from YouTube that came in. Don't see him here anymore. I hope Grave Guzman did join to my YouTube channel and like the Gravy Man, Gravy Guzman, yeah, Gravy Guzman comes over and likes it. Yeah, so it's been funny talking about Max. Where we're going to go with Max. I've got many other characters that I'm coming up with, so it's just not the North Shield that's over here. It's, I've got some other characters. I got a science fiction superhero coming. I got a vampire superhero coming. So I got a lot of stuff in the pot that I like to get moving on. Getting to a point in my life that I need to get things done. Everybody, have a good day. If you're watching it today or live or tomorrow or next week or whenever, take care. I'm glad that you came in and checked out my video. So just remember to subscribe and click the like button or smash the like button for me, will you? Because I need to get this channel up a little higher. All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care, and I'll probably see you maybe this afternoon. All right. Bye-bye.